friends. Hey, this is Kylan Hunt with Kylan Hunt and Company, and I'm going live today from my private Facebook page. And the reason that I'm doing that is I want to share some things with all of you, all of my friends, all of my family, some things that I've learned in the business space and why I believe my faith is so extremely important in the business space. Now, there seems to be in the marketplace, in the business world, especially in the last several years, there seems to be a disconnect between business and faith. And I think that's a huge problem because when I look back into the scriptures and when I look back even in the Old Testament where I see Abraham and Job and I see so many other amazing leaders who were people of faith, they were very, very successful. And that's something that I've learned in today's world is the importance of being a person of faith because we need to have faith in something when we go out into the marketplace, even if it's just learning how to have faith in our own creation, having faith in what God created us to do, our purpose in life. So what I want to do, and I'm not going to make a commitment to be in here every Sunday, but Sundays are a day that I like to try and invest in my own personal self, and I try to invest in this being that God created. Being a human being, I want to be all that God created for me to be. And one of the things that Rebecca and I have done in the last year, as COVID has been around and we've had a lot more time to be together, which has been an amazing experience, by the way, an amazing experience to share with my wife and to share with each other. We now have gone through Proverbs a couple of different times, and it doesn't matter what faith you are. It doesn't matter if you believe in Christ. It doesn't matter if you believe in God. It doesn't matter what you believe in terms of your faith. The book of Proverbs is amazing for business. It's absolutely amazing. Those of you who have followed us at Kylan Hunt and Company, you know that we are actually using a tagline in our business. It's called Seek Truth, Gain Wisdom, Serve Others. That is our whole objective in life, is to seek out truth. What is truth? Where is it? How do we identify it? How do we use truth then to gain in wisdom? And what do we do with that wisdom? Well, we want to serve other people. That's our whole objective in our business, is to serve. It's the objective of any business. So one of the things that we want to be able to do really, really well is understand what God has for our life. Because if we're going to be business people and we're going to be serving in the business space, I want to be able to serve at the highest level. That's my personal opinion. And if I'm going to serve at the highest level, using that opinion that I've been given, I have to ask the question, where can I find the best information for wisdom, for instruction, for in serving other people? Well, if you know the story of Solomon in the scriptures, Solomon asked God, because he was a very, very young king who come into power. And God says, ask me anything, I will give it to you. And being a young king, he asked for wisdom. And God was so pleased with that request that he gave him not only wisdom, but he gave him everything else. He gave him wealth and fame and everything else that there was to have that a lot of kings would desire and want, right? Well, by asking for wisdom, Solomon began to build amazing things. He built tremendous farms. He created irrigation systems. He created things that in my space, in the world that I work in, these were everyday common things for us. And Solomon was making them. He was creating them. He was building things from nothing. And he was using wisdom to do it. So as I begin to look in how do we build businesses and how do we help our customers and our clients be successful in their businesses? Well, we need wisdom. We need wisdom. And that's why we have learned from the book of Proverbs. It's an amazing, amazing book. It's a place that we can go to learn knowledge and understanding. In fact, what I wanted to share with you today is just a way that you can use Proverbs in your own life, in your own business. No matter what it is that you're doing in the world, the book of Proverbs can help you. So today I just wanted to cover a few things out of the first 7 verses in this book. And these verses, my friends, if you embrace just these verses alone, these verses will completely change the way that you see personal growth and development. It will completely change the way that you see serving other people. This is going to completely change the way that you live life, in my opinion. If it doesn't change the way that you're living life, you better ask yourself, why? Why is this not changing the way I live life? Because remember, you are learning in these verses from the wisest person in the history of the world. I mean, if there's somebody I want to listen to when it comes to understanding government, when it comes to understanding created being, person of being, when it comes to learning how to raise children, when it comes to learning how to run business and do things of this nature, I want to learn from the wisest people in the world. Now, since the time that Solomon's been here, yeah, there's been a lot of tremendous wisdom created out in the world, in the system that's out there. But bar none, I have not found any writing anywhere that can hold a candle to what Solomon has done. So when you look at these first few verses in the book of Proverbs, they will change your life. Let me break it down for you here. When we look at this verse 2, which is the second verse right after the introduction, this verse, it says to know. Right there, just think, stop right there. To know. To know what? Wisdom and instruction. This is Solomon now talking to his son. This is Solomon now giving instruction. Now, when we look at this, when we're in the business space, when we're out in the business world today, one of the things we're always looking for is, what do we need to know? What do we need to know? If we're going to be successful, what do we need to know? And one of the very first things that Solomon said is wisdom and instruction. That's it. You need to know those things. Because if you don't, think about the consequences. What's the alternative of wisdom and instruction? I'll let you answer that. What's the opposite of wisdom and instruction? See, we need to know wisdom and instruction. The next part here says to understand. This is such a powerful component. In our transformational learning system, our TLS program, we talk about understanding. Where did I get this teaching for understanding? Right out of Proverbs. This is built, our transformational learning system training is built from Proverbs for the business world. What do we need to understand? Words of insight. Words of insight. See, we live in a world today where there's all kinds of education that we can take out there. There's corporate education where you can go to a university, you can go to a college, you can go to a Christian school, you can go to private school, public schools, all kinds of education places where you can go to find something. But what we have to do with that knowledge that's out there, this unlimited information base of knowledge, is to find understanding, to know wisdom and instruction, and to understand words of insight. All the things you're going to learn at some point are going to come through words, either something that is spoken to you, shown to you, you've read, you've received in knowledge and instruction from somewhere. That is going to come to you from words, and you're going to need to understand where to get the insight from that. Okay, let's keep going. Let's think about this now. To receive instruction. To receive instruction in what? What are we receiving instruction in? How about wise dealings? in righteousness, in justice, and in equity. Think about that. To receive instruction. This is something that is given to you. Receive instruction. Now, the thing that I've learned about leadership is I also have to be a great follower if I'm going to be a great leader. I have to first receive something. I cannot give what I do not have. I cannot give what I do not have. I cannot give instruction unless I have received it. I cannot give something unless it's come into me. So when I look at this, I have to be able to say, where am I receiving instruction? Who you learn from matters. So where am I receiving instruction? What am I receiving instruction for? Wise dealings, righteousness, justice, and equity. Wow. In the business space, in the world that we live in, my friends, how important is it to be wise in dealing with people? How about wise in being fair, honest, with equity? What about being wise with justice? What about that? And righteousness. What about being wise in knowing what is right, what is not right, what is God honoring, what is faith honoring, and what isn't? What is pure and true to you and what isn't? There's no better place that I believe you can learn this than in the scriptures and in Proverbs. Proverbs specifically is an amazing book to learn this. So let's review real quick. To know what? Wisdom and instruction. To understand what? Words of insight. To receive instruction. To receive instruction for what? How about wise dealings, righteousness, justice, and equity? Those things, my friends, extremely valuable to you in all aspects of life. But let's not stop there. Let's see what he says next. Now, I'm not going to go through all these verses. Every single verse in Proverbs has value. Trust me, I just can't get to all of them. So I'm hitting on the ones that have been very, very important to me. And I think they're going to be very important to you if you embrace them. However, you don't want to just listen to what I have to say. You want to listen to what God's saying to you through these words, okay? So here's what it says to me. To let the wise hear and increase in learning, and the one who understands what? Obtain guidance. The one who understands will obtain guidance. So let the wise hear and increase in learning, and the one who understands obtain guidance. My friends, I've had so many people in my life in the last 10 years that I have been focused on personal growth and personal development. I've had people from the church. I've had people from the body of Christ, the people that I build my faith in. I've had people come to me and say, Kylan, self-help, personal development, that's not biblical. You shouldn't do that. That's all about you. It's not about God living in you. Really? So here's Solomon, the most wise person in the history of our world that we know of today, the wisest person in the world, saying, let the wise hear. First of all, he says, let the wise hear. So you have to ask the question, am I listening? And it says, let the wise increase in learning. So let the wise hear, let the wise increase in learning. Does that not sound like personal growth and development to you? Does that not sound like something that we should be pursuing? Isn't that something that sounds absolutely amazing? I mean, think about it. Let the wise hear and increase in learning. I don't know. I don't want to be foolish. I don't want to be foolish, my friends. I want to be wise. And right here is Solomon, the wisest man in all the world, saying, listen, hear, listen, and increase in learning. Increase in learning. He's telling us now, I can only imagine how much King Solomon practiced daily personal growth and development. I can only imagine it. Because right here, we're seeing him tell us to do it to obtain guidance in your life. To obtain guidance. In the second part here, it says, the one who understands. You will not understand other people. You won't understand how to connect with other personalities and other behaviors unless you're increasing your learning and you're hearing from them. It's hard to understand people. I had a friend of mine here a while back, and we were working on a few things, and in one of our business coaching sessions, and he made this comment. He said, "You know, Kylan, I wouldn't have any troubles with this business if it wasn't for people." And I remember thinking, how true that is. I mean, seriously, most of our technology works fairly well. You know, when I think about the software that I use, I open up my phone, I open up my iPad. My iPad has not had a glitch in it for 3 years. I am so happy with my iPad. It's absolutely amazing. And it works, right? When I think about business challenges, they're all human related in some way, shape, or form. And that's the interesting thing. If I'm not learning how to work with other people, as other people are influenced by the internet, as other people are influenced by social media, as people are influenced by politics, as people are influenced by religion, I don't care what it is that you're influenced in. When you're influenced by a source outside of our business and you're working with us, you're working for us, you're working alongside of us, when you're working with us and you're being influenced by an outside source, I, as a leader, as a business owner, I have to know how to deal with that. I have to know how to work with that. I have to know how to understand you. And then, like my friend said, I wouldn't have any problems if it wasn't for other people. We all have those issues, don't we? We all understand what he's saying. So my challenge to you is, what can you learn from Proverbs? What can you learn in personal growth and development? What do you need to be studying right now? It's something that I think is absolutely vital in our take to being successful, in everything that God has called us to. Now, this last one, as we begin to wrap up for today, I want to touch on the fear of the Lord is. The fear of the Lord is what? The beginning of knowledge. Now, if you're listening to this, if you're here live, or if you're just listening to the recording, I want to ask you a question. Can you clearly define the difference between knowledge and wisdom? For you. I don't care what your college professor said. I don't care what you learned in high school. I don't care what you read in some book. But what has developed inside of you that allows you to define the difference between knowledge and wisdom? If you've been able to very clearly define the difference between knowledge and wisdom, post it in the comments, because I would love to hear your thoughts on that topic. If you'd like to hear our thoughts on it, post it in the comment, because I'd love to do a lesson on the difference between knowledge and wisdom. But if you don't want to hear it, I won't share it. I've thought a lot about this for multiple years, and I've asked a lot of people what their thoughts are on it. But I do know this. I know this. The fear of the Lord, reverence to the Lord. And the way I've learned to look at that, reverence to my Creator. I am created to create. I cannot create success in my business. I cannot create success for my customers. I cannot create success for anyone in the world unless I have a respect, a reverence to the person that created me on purpose, for a purpose, and to live out a calling. I honestly believe that. So if I'm going to be successful in life, I have to have a respect, a reverence for the Creator who created me on purpose for a purpose. And the beginning of knowledge, that's just the beginning. Just the beginning. The fear of the Lord, the respect of my Creator, the reverence to my Creator, the giving into His authority is the beginning of knowledge. Now think about that. We all want to be successful in life. We all want to be successful, and I don't know any of us who don't want to be successful. But if we're going to be successful in life, then we need to be able to step into it with a reverence and a respect to the person who created us. Now, if you have a different view on that, if you believe that the universe is what created you, go ahead with that belief system. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. I'd love to understand your perspective. Not the perspective, again, of your college or of your education system, but you. What do you believe after all the stuff that you've read and the things that you understand and the wisdom that you have created within your own life? What is your personal perspective? What do you think into when it comes to giving reverence to something, someone that you want to follow, that you want to give into authority? Now, the interesting thing here that I find extremely important, and it's actually the very last point here. It says, fools despise wisdom and instruction. Fools despise. Think about that word despise. That is a harsh word. Despise. Think into that word for a little bit. Just dive in and just think about something that you despise. What does that make you feel when you despise something? How does that make you look at that thing? When you despise something or someone, it's just something that your face cringes when you think about it. When you think about despising something, and you despise someone, that's the last person you want to be around. It's the last thing that you want in your life. It is the last thing you're looking to see every day. It's the last thing you want to do or participate in every day. If you despise something, you're not going to want to be around it. So think about wisdom and instruction. Two things that God says here. Wisdom and instruction. Solomon wrote it down. If you want to be a fool, despise wisdom and instruction. Despise it. Don't seek for it. Don't look for it. Don't want it. If you don't want wisdom and you don't want instruction, then choose to be a fool. Those are harsh words, aren't they? I mean, think about it. These are Solomon's words. These aren't mine. But I look at this and I'm like, okay, if Solomon, the wisest person in the history of the world, if Solomon can say, a fool does not want to personally grow, a fool does not want to increase in learning, a fool does not want to listen and have wise listening and wise hearing. Remember, that's what it says. That's what it says, not my words, his. Let the wise hear and increase in learning, and the one who understands obtain guidance. And then he says, the fools despise wisdom and instruction. I don't know, the choice is yours. I know what I'm going to choose. I'm going to choose every single day to listen to something and seek out the wisdom. I'm going to seek out the truth. I'm going to seek out the wisdom. I want to find this in my life, my friends. Because if I can't find that wisdom, if I can't find the truth in what is happening in the world around us, then I am choosing by default. I am choosing as Solomon would say. I think Solomon would look me right square in the face and say, if you're not choosing to seek and hear and listen and grow and learn in wisdom, then you are choosing to be a fool. Because that's not the first time in the book of Proverbs you'll hear the word fool. You'll hear it over and over and over in this book. So when I think about that, I want to grow beyond foolishness. I want to grow beyond what I only think and listen and believe today. I have to continue to test what I'm being taught, what is going into here, what is becoming a part of my belief system. I have to test it daily. Is what I'm watching and listening to and hearing and understanding, is what I'm listening to wisdom and wise? Is it something that's positive for my life and for the outcome? Many of you maybe, I want to slip to another page here. Some of you are not following us on Kylan Hunt and Company. I'm going to challenge you to go to Kylan Hunt and Company right now and follow us. Join our group there. We have another group called Leadership Farming. Would love to have you come in and join us there. But our whole purpose as a business, our whole purpose based on years of studying the book of Proverbs and finding ways and seeking for ways to be wise in this world, our whole objective is to seek truth, to gain wisdom, and to serve others. And then we go out and we help all these other companies. That's our goal. We want to take this information of truth and wisdom and servanthood, and we want to take it out to help you build and grow something amazing. I don't care if you're growing a church. I don't care if you're building a nonprofit in helping human beings or handle depression, whatever it is. Seek truth in your life. Use that truth that you've found to build to grow in wisdom. You want to gain wisdom, my friends. If you're not gaining in wisdom, then what are you gaining in? That's a serious question. And then the third one is, why are you here? Why are you here? Are you not here to serve? Are you not here to serve and love people? You know, God himself said, the two greatest commandments, my faith, the person that I serve, the person that I choose to follow in my faith. He was asked the question, what are the two greatest commandments? And he was very clear. Number one, love God. Number two, love others. Love God, love others. It's that simple. It is that simple. You don't have to know all this amazing business. You don't have to know all these business skills and all this other stuff. Start at the beginning. Start at the beginning. Love God. Love others. If you're unsure about, following the God of the Bible, then think about where you came from. Go back in some way, shape, or form. If you want to call it the universe for right now, then go call it the universe and talk to me. Share with me why you believe that. Because I'm open to learning. See, here's the thing. I believed a lot of those things too until I was 34 years old. I believed a lot of things until I started seeking out a journey, and a journey my own life brought to me. I started seeking things out, and that's when I began to understand what the words meant to love God and to love others. It was a journey for me. It's going to be a journey for you. But that's who we are. We want to help you seek truth. We want to help you gain wisdom, and we want to help you serve others. That's why we exist. So my friends, come to Kylan Hunt and Company, get connected with us there, and you're going to learn more about how to run your life, how to run your business, how to personally develop yourself, how to personally grow yourself. You're going to learn more from the Proverbs, because all of our training in one way, shape, or form comes from Proverbs, comes from a scripture background in some fashion, because that's our faith. And when you think about faith, it's about looking forward. It's about looking ahead. It's about looking towards something that I can't physically see today. And if I'm going to be successful in business, if I'm going to be successful in life, if I'm going to be a successful grandparent, a husband, a father, I have to look ahead. I have to have faith. I have to be able to look forward. I have to see something that's going to last beyond me. That's faith. So what are you believing in? What are you trusting in? What are you growing in today? Who are you serving? Think about those things. And then go back in and read those 7 verses in Proverbs. If there's anything that I would challenge you to, is just read those first 7 verses in Proverbs. Read them every single day this week. The next 7 days, commit to reading 7 verses. If you don't do anything else, just every morning read those 7 verses and see what happens to your thinking. See what happens to your thinking. When you're one way or another seeking wisdom, your life is going to change. So read those 7 verses for 7 days and see what happens. I look forward to hearing from you. I look forward to hearing what's changed in your life. I look forward to hearing how you're growing. I look forward to connecting with you on Kyle and Hunt and Company. My friends, as we were instructed by my Creator, as I was instructed by my Creator, what I believe, I'm going to love Him and I'm going to love others. That means I love you. I love you. I thank you for who you are. Thank you for the work that you're doing in the world today. Thank you for the people and the servanthood that you're bringing to the world. Go out and serve people to the best of your ability. My friends, we'll see you on here again. Thanks for connecting with me. Great to connect with you. May God bless, and may you have an amazing, amazing day. We'll see you next time.